Imagine handing the keys to your company's finances to someone you just met purely because they, I don't know, had a firm handshake and a nicely formatted PDF.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds reckless, but in a high-pressure hiring crunch, it happens, well, every single day.
Exactly. So today we are looking at a stack of economic reports and HR policy papers out of Romania to understand how you, as an HR decision maker, can navigate this exact landscape.
Right.
And we are looking at some intense numbers here, frankly. I mean, Romania is staring down a 2024 fiscal deficit of 8.6% of GDP. And that is layered with a hefty dose of political uncertainty.
Oh, absolutely. Which means if you are an HR director right now, your budget is likely frozen.
Yeah.
But the business still expects you to, facilitate growth.
Yeah, you're basically being squeezed.
Exactly. You have to hire faster to keep operations moving, but your margin for costly errors is, well, it's absolutely zero.
So let's talk about those errors. I mean, we've all heard the adage that a bad hire is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm looking at my shrinking budget, I really need to know the mechanism behind that. Like, are we just talking about paying a recruiter twice?
Oh, not even close. I mean, the recruitment fee is really just the tip of the iceberg here.
Right.
When you bring in the wrong person, it creates this cascading failure across the organization.
Oh, wow. How so?
Well, you burn through your initial onboarding and training budget, sure. But more critically, a poorly vetted hire actively degrades the people around them.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Team productivity drops because your core staff has to basically fix their mistakes. And management loses weeks dealing with the fallout instead of, actually driving revenue.
I see. So it's less like buying a defective machine and more like introducing a virus into your operating system. It just slows everything else down.
That's a much more accurate way to look at it, actually.
Wow.
The unseen cost of that friction is just massive.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because looking at that level of risk makes me want to run a full-blown intelligence sweep on everyone.
Right, naturally.
But if you're a candidate in today's market, I mean, high mobility and job hopping are totally normal. Doesn't heavily screening people just alienate top talent? Like, it feels a bit suspicious and, well, hostile.
Well, that assumes the goal of screening is to catch liars. What's fascinating here is that modern verification isn't about suspicion at all.
Okay.
It's really about establishing objective fairness. I mean, people don't stay at one company for 40 years anymore. They move because of rapid growth opportunities or sudden organizational restructuring.
Right. A resume with 4 jobs in 5 years used to be a massive red flag, and now it's just Tuesday.
Exactly. And simply looking at those short tenures on a piece of paper leaves an HR manager guessing.
Yeah, making assumptions.
Exactly. Proper screening, actually verifying employment dates, duties, and gathering professional references, well, that provides the why behind a nonlinear path.
So you replace assumptions with data-driven context.
You got it. You aren't penalizing a candidate's mobility. You are creating a fair, evidence-based evaluation.
That makes a lot of sense for providing context, but how deep are we legally allowed to dig here?
That is the big question.
Right. Like, if I'm hiring a janitor for a major bank, they still have physical access to the building. Shouldn't the fact that they work in banking dictate maximum security clearance?
You might think so, but the Romanian Labor Code and GDPR explicitly prohibit that kind of blanket approach.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot just collect personal data just in case. The fundamental legal requirement here is proportionality.
Proportionality. Okay.
Right. You don't assess risk based on the industry. You assess it based on the specific responsibilities of the role.
Okay, so it's like a hospital triage system. You don't send someone with a paper cut to the MRI machine just because they're inside a hospital. You match the diagnostic tool to the actual severity of the risk.
Spot on. A finance director who approves massive corporate payments warrants rigorous scrutiny.
Right, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. Justified criminal record checks, financial compliance verifications, the works. But the entry-level administrative assistant at that same financial firm?
Yeah.
They legally and practically only require basic identity and employment history verification.
Wow. And by triaging the checks like that, you aren't bottlenecking your hiring pipeline, you're actually accelerating it.
Precisely.
You get confident job offers out the door faster because you aren't wasting time and money over screening low-risk roles.
And that brings up an important question for you to consider as you evaluate your own hiring processes.
What's that?
If your next critical hire fails, will it genuinely be because of some entirely unpredictable factor or simply because of information you chose not to verify?